Hello, time for another Man in Gray book review. Today's book is I Married My Female Friend, Volume 1, written and illustrated by Shio Usui and translated from Japanese by Avery Hutley. It was published in 2021 by Seven Seas, and it's 170 pages. This is a manga series about two young women, and their relationship with each other. The brunette over here, this one, is named Ruriko, and she works in a bakery. So she gets up early in the morning, works very hard all day, comes home, eats dinner, watches some TV, and then goes to bed. Well, the blonde over here, her friend Kurumi, is completely different. She's a night owl. She's a freelance writer. She goes out at night to concerts and plays and writes reviews about them for magazines and newspapers, and does other freelance writing. And she tends to stay out really late, come home late, and then sleeps most of the morning. So they have very different personalities and very different lives. But they've been friends since they were little kids. And as they're getting older now, they're noticing that all their other friends are getting married and even having children. And everyone's wondering, well, why they haven't found anyone. And part of the reason is because their lives are so busy, and the other reason is the men they've gone out with, they haven't clicked with. And so they come up with an agreement. If they haven't found somebody in 5 years, they will marry each other. Same-sex marriage had just become legal in Japan. So they said, well, we'll get married to each other platonically, and this way people will quit bugging us about, finding somebody. And so 5 years go by, and they're not married, and so they go ahead and take the plunge, and they get married. And so the first volume is what happens in the opening months of their relationship. Now, they're not romantically involved. They're just friends. But they get married and move in together. And so one of the key things, I think, one of the great things that this little series points out is marriage is a lot more than just a romantic or a sexual relationship. It's also a power-sharing relationship, because when you start living with someone full-time, you have to start dividing up responsibilities. Who's going to take the trash out? Who's going to wash the clothes and dry them? Who's going to do the dishes? Who's going to cook? Who's going to budget expenses? How are you going to pay for things? And who's going to pay the bills? What's the air conditioner thermostat going to be set on, high or low? There's all these little decisions that have to be made, mundane things, but sometimes these can cost a breakup of a relationship if you can't agree on this. And so these two women get together, and they realize pretty quickly that they're very different. They have very different lifestyles. Ruriko getting up early in the morning, and Kurumi coming in late at night. And so they don't actually see each other very much, except when they're kind of passing each other. And so they decide they need to set aside some time to spend time with each other. And there's some rough patches, but they tend to work those out. And as they spend time with each other, they begin to grow more affectionate toward each other. And so that's basically what this whole series is about, is the gradual deepening of their relationship over time. The first few volumes, they're still strictly platonic. Kurumi, though, as time goes on, begins to feel romantic feelings for Ruriko, but she doesn't want to tell her because she's afraid that that will cause them to break up. Also, they're both worried that if one of the other ones, one of their agreements is if one of the other ones finds a man that they want to marry, they'll divorce. And so they're constantly kind of looking over their shoulder, worrying about, the relationship is good, but what happens if it ends? So from the description, you can see that this is not a manga series with supernatural elements or violence or slapstick comedy. It's more of a character study about two typical young middle-class Japanese women and their lives and the decisions they have to make and compromises they have to make living together. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, this is I think you'll enjoy this. It's a very well-drawn, very fairly realistic for manga, fairly realistically drawn, and it does tell you a lot about everyday life in Tokyo. So if you're interested in that, this is a book series you'll probably enjoy. The book is called I Married My Female Friend, Volume 1. The author and illustrator is Shio Usui. This has been another Man in Gray book review. Thanks for watching.